Coming up on Sportsnight.
It's tourney time for Northwestern Lacrosse. We'll break down the Cats' path back to the Final Four.
Plus, Northwestern softball begins their postseason in Big Ten tournament play against the Wisconsin Badgers.
And baseball gets buried by the Buckeyes.
The weather's finally warm and the Cats are bringing the heat on Sportsnight right now. Good evening and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Max Rothfeder.
And I'm Logan Schiciano. It's finally postseason time and we've got some great action from the past week. We begin with Northwestern's 4th-ranked lacrosse team. The Cats headed to Piscataway with the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament last weekend in hopes of repeating as Big Ten champions. They ran into a Rutgers squad who Northwestern beat earlier this year, but things did not go as smoothly on the Scarlet Knights' home turf. Let's roll the highlights. The Cats at Rutgers, the birthplace of college football. Maybe it's also the birthplace of rain because it was pouring all the way through this one. We pick it up early in the first. Jill Girardi pounces it past goalie Sofia Cordello. Nice free position shot puts the Cats on top, 1-0. Moving ahead now, it's Lauren Gilbert from straight on. She converts the 8-meter chance. She's so good at those. But on the other end, Rutgers was bringing the heat. Just look at Stephanie Kelly zipping it past Madison Doucette. Really difficult shot on the run, her 28th goal of the season. The Scarlet Knights would keep the offense coming with TT Nazlonsky sneaking this one in. Nazlonsky was feasting with 14 shots and 3 goals in this one. The teams would flip ends to start the second quarter, and Cassidy Spillis going to pick up the ground ball and fire this one home. Northwestern was doing everything it could to keep the game close. Here's Hannah Johnson with a free position goal of her own. Nice to see the sophomore out after missing some games due to injury. Always got to watch out for those lefties, and she's been a difference maker for the Cats this season. This was the point in the game where Rutgers started to pull away. It's another goal from Spillis. It started a streak of 6 straight goals for the Scarlet Knights. 7-3 your halftime score, still within reach for the Cats, but they knew they had to do a lot to battle back. Back out in the third quarter, and why not waste any time? It's Spillis from the left side of the arc. She buries it. How about we do it again from the right side this time? Kelly puts Rutgers up 9-3. And how impressive was this shot from Maren Hartshorn? She can't even believe what she just did. You thought it couldn't get any worse, but unfortunately for Ali Palermo, it did. Usually so sound in those transitions, but here she coughs it up and TT Nazlonsky puts the exclamation point on this one. 13-5 your final score. First time ever Rutgers has beaten Northwestern. Well, despite their early exit in New Jersey, the Cats still drew the number 4 overall seed in the NCAA tournament, which kicks off tomorrow. Northwestern will play host to Central Michigan, who is making its first ever tournament appearance. Our very own Matthew Coronado has more on the matchup.
Thanks, Logan. I'm standing outside of the Lakeside Field here in Evanston as the Wildcats have just gotten their practice underway on Thursday. The matchup tomorrow against the Central Michigan Chippewas will be in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and it's going to be an offensive battle to say the least. Both teams ranked inside the top 25 in scoring goals this year. Central Michigan is led by MAC Offensive Player of the Year Audrey Whiteside, who has 40 goals and 35 assists on the year, and she is joined by teammate Maggie Diebold, who has 60 goals and leads the team in that category. To talk about Central Michigan for a second and how they got here, they won the MAC's first women's lacrosse postseason tournament, defeating Kent State and Robert Morris in order to nab this NCAA tournament bid. To turn over to Northwestern for a second, they are 26-0 at home under Kelly Amante Hiller in the NCAA tournament. They're currently on a 17 home game win streak, and they will be chasing their 8th national championship this year. Huge honors were also given out to the Wildcats in the postseason. Samantha White earned Big Ten Player of the Year, freshman Big Ten Player of the Year, I should say. And 4 players, being Jill Girardi, Ali Palermo, Erin Kuykendall, and Lauren Gilbert, nabbed all Big Ten honors at the end of the year. This matchup is going to be a huge one here at the Lakeside Field in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Matthew. And joining us now in studio is Sarah Meadow. Sarah's the lacrosse beat writer for Inside NU, and is calling the game tomorrow for WNUR Sports. Sarah, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into it. You know that Northwestern's offense has struggled in the last few games, only scoring a combined 14 goals. What have you noticed in the team's play of late, and what do they need to do to get back on track?
I would say overall they're rushing too much on the offense. They need to keep passing it to each other more than they have been in the past few games. I think just slowing down, playing the game that they're used to, and they'll be able to get back on the offense. You know, incorporating Aaron Kuykendall, some of the younger players too that we saw earlier this season, is their key to success.
Yeah, well, the two other teams who are playing here at Northwestern are Michigan and Notre Dame, going against each other in the first round. Either could be a potential opponent for Northwestern in the second round, and they're both familiar opponents. Northwestern has beat both this year. Who do you think would be a good matchup for the Cats if they were to advance to the next round?
I mean, I would say neither is particularly favorable, as, you know, once you beat a team once, you're out for blood. So I would say that that'll be a great matchup, but I would like to see us play Notre Dame again. Michigan's head coach, Hannah Nielsen, is very familiar with Northwestern. She was a standout here, is good friends with Kelly and Monty Hiller, knows her game, knows how she likes them to play. So.
Yeah, and let's not get too ahead of ourselves, but I think a lot of people have a potential quarterfinal matchup against Syracuse circled on their calendar. Sarah, why would a quarterfinal matchup against the Orange be so significant for this Wildcat squad?
Well, that same Syracuse Orange team is last year ended their season in the Final Four in Towson, Maryland, and we already faced the Orange at home this year once, so to be able to face them on our own home turf with our seeding being higher than theirs would be an extremely big advantage, so that would be a rivalry matchup for the ages.
Well, Sarah, thanks again for coming in and talking some NU Lax. Be sure to catch Sarah on the call with WNUR Sports tomorrow with Bria Losick. You can also follow her on Twitter at Sarah_Meadow. Max?
Coming up after the break, Northwestern softball began postseason action this afternoon, and we've got the highlights coming up.
It doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Sports Night. Well, Max, even though the Lake Show fell this weekend, another team got some pretty good news.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Logan. The NU Cats softball were named the regular season champs on Friday. It's the first time Northwestern has won the regular season Big Ten title since 2008, and the first outright title since 2006. But the team still had to finish off their season in a series against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's game one of the 3-game series between the Cats and the Golden Gophers in Minneapolis to close out the regular season. Here we have bases loaded. Sarah Kinch of the Gophers at the plate, and she smacks one deep into center field. The ball takes a funky bounce over Schellmeyer's head. The base is clear to make it 5-0. Maeve Nelson hits a grounder to short, and look at this spin move as McKenna Dowell fields it, throws it, and beats the runner to first. The Cats couldn't get anything going early. Now to the bottom of the fifth, Minnesota up 7-0. Chloe Evans grounds the ball past the shortstop and brings in a runner to make it 8-0. That does it for Game 1 as Minnesota mercy rules Northwestern. But it wasn't all bad news, as a Nebraska loss on Friday meant that the Cats got to raise the trophy as the Big Ten regular season champions. The Cats were looking to bounce back in Game 2 but struggled early. Top of the first, Autumn Pease throws this beautiful pitch to strike out Jordan Rudd. She had 3 shutout innings with 4 strikeouts. Bottom of the first, Lauren Espelin takes Sydney Supley deep over the right field fence for the solo homer. A really nice swing there to put the Gophers up 1-0. That is her 6th home run of the season. 2 on in the bottom of the second, Espelin back at the plate. She hits this line drive to center. Schellmeyer struggles to field it again, and that's going to end the day for Supley, who allowed 4 runs in just 1 1/3 innings pitched. Bases loaded here, bottom of the third. Delane Cox gets this ball to land in shallow left field, making it a 7-0 game. Minnesota would go on to mercy rule Northwestern for the 2nd day in a row. That's the 3rd time it's happened all year. Last game of the regular season, Maeve Nelson at the plate, and she launches this ball deep over the fence and off the scoreboard for a 2-run dinger. Cats go up 3 early. That's her 10th of the year, and the Cats are finally able to get something going. Look at them fired up here. But the Gophers wouldn't slow down. Bottom of the 4th, Natalie Den Hartog goes deep over the left field fence for the solo shot, cutting the margin to 2. That is her 18th home run just this year. Danielle Williams on the mound here as she gets the strikeout on McKenna Dowell. She pitched 7 innings and allowed just 1 run. Williams on the mound again, bottom of the 6th, and we see this perfect pitch at the bottom of the strike zone to put Megan Dre away. The Cats would go on to win the game 3-1. They went 1-2 in the series, but they are the Big Ten champions. And they begin their postseason in the Big Ten tournament this afternoon, taking on Wisconsin Badgers as a top-ranked team in the tournament. You can see here as she gets the ball, Tag gets the runner out at second. They are fired up early. Bottom of the second, Northwestern's already up 1-0, and Rachel Lewis steps up with the bases loaded and lines one over the shortstop's head. 1 run scores, and then Nito comes to the plate and gets in there safely to get the Wildcats up early. The Wildcats are caught sleeping over the weekend, but they are alive today. Bases loaded in the top of the 3rd. There's nobody better in the conference to have than Danielle Williams in the circle. She gets the swinging strikeout here to keep the Cats up 3-0. Wisconsin stormed back to make it a 1-run game, but Nito would have none of it. The first year is not afraid of the bright lights as she slaps one up through the middle. Angela Zadok beats the throw and slides home to bring the lead back to 2 in the 6th. And no more fitting way to end this one than with a Williams strikeout in the 7th. Northwestern bests the Badgers in their first game of the tournament 5-2. Williams would finish a complete game with 12 strikeouts. After the win today, the Cats hope to carry that momentum into the semifinals tomorrow, facing the winner of the Maryland-Michigan game, happening right now. The team is trying to add a Big Ten tournament title next to the mantle, next to their newly won regular season title. To talk more softball, our own Matthew Coronado. Hey, didn't we see you earlier at the Lakeside Field?
Hey, a little bit of lacrosse here, a little bit of softball there. A sports reporter of many hats tonight, Max, but happy as always to be talking about one of my favorite teams on campus.
This weekend was quite the celebration for those softball Cats as they clinched the Big Ten title. What do you think have been some of the key factors leading to this championship?
Well, Max, it would be irresponsible of me not to talk about the enigma that is Danielle Williams first up. And despite her struggles in Minnesota, she has been rock solid all year. She's on pace to win the Big Ten pitching Triple Crown with 13 wins, 132 strikeouts, and an ERA of 1.82 in conference play. She finished the year with a record of 24-3 and pitched a total of 172 innings. She is the unanimous Big Ten Pitcher of the Year, and along with her teammate Jordan Rudd, who herself had an expectation-beating season, became the first battery, pitcher and catcher, to earn 3 straight first-team All-Big Ten honors. The term workhorse would be an understatement. Williams has provided us with a season for the ages, and her bats did not let her down too often either. The biggest of which, of course, being Rachel Lewis, Big Ten Player of the Year, joining 4 other Wildcats who have earned the award. And I already mentioned Rudd, but Nikki Cochran and Hannah Cady also earned a spot on the All-Big Ten first team. That team is stacked, Max, but there's still a long season to go for the rest of the season.
So looking towards the end of the season, what do you expect out of the Cats at the Big Ten tournament this weekend?
The expectation has to be to win. With all that firepower I mentioned on both the offense and defense, there aren't many excuses as to why this team can't win the Big Ten tournament. They are incredibly well coached. Kate Drohan winning Big Ten Coach of the Year, and it shows on the field. Where other teams in this conference tend to fold like a lawn chair, Drohan has instilled a never-give-up attitude that has benefited this team in so many ways. They rank in the top half of batting average, ERA, and fielding percentage, a stat shared only between Northwestern and Michigan. Their consistency this year has been one of their strong suits, and when the pressure gets dialed up to 11, consistently good teams will always beat hot and cold great teams. But one could argue that Northwestern has been both consistent and great. So taking that all together, NU has a great shot at winning their first Big Ten tournament since 2008 when they did it at the J.
An incredible accomplishment that would be if everything comes together for the Cats in that tournament. Is a College World Series within grasp?
You can't rule anything out yet, but there are a lot of good teams across the country that will be vying for that national championship. Oklahoma leads all Division I schools in batting average and ERA, with an absurd 3 pitchers within the top 10 of that category. UCLA, a team Northwestern defeated earlier this year, also is second on the list and had a wonderful season led by coach Kelly Inouye-Perez, Pac-12 Coach of the Year. In the SEC, Arkansas battered opposing pitchers with a batting average of .342, good for 4th in the country, and they're led by standout Jocelyn Allo, who ranks 2nd in the country in batting average. Needless to say, there's a lot of competition out there, but the Cats do stack up well. Currently ranked 10th in the RPI rankings. Never say never, Max. This team could make a run.
And we'll see it all play out over the course of the next few weeks. Thanks for joining us, Matthew.
And when we come back, we'll take you from Georgia to Kentucky, where the tennis teams hit the court for NCAA tournament play. Don't go anywhere.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all the go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back to Sportsnight. It might be the final quarter here at Northwestern, but our spring sports teams aren't showing any signs of slowing down.
Yeah, Max, there's been a lot of play here on campus, but it hasn't all been pretty. Wildcats baseball returns home looking to improve their position in the Big Ten standings. Heading into the weekend, the Cats sat 6th in the conference, needing to finish the season in the top 8 to make the Big Ten tourney. First order of business was the Ohio State Buckeyes last weekend, who came into Evanston losers of their last 3 Big Ten series. We'll pick it up in the bottom of the first. Jay Bashirs powers that ball to left field to put the Cats in front. Bashir continues his stellar play at the plate, going 3 for 5 in this game, including another bomb in his next at-bat in the third. And Northwestern will need all the offensive support it could get, as their ace starter Sean Sullivan really struggled in this one. Let's jump ahead to the home half of the eighth. Cats down by a run, but J.C. Santini ties it up. Clutch hitting from the graduate student catcher right there. But the Buckeyes came with an onslaught in the ninth. Bashirs may have had 2 home runs, but on the day, pitching was one to forget, only recording 2 outs and giving up 6 earned runs. Ohio State's 8-run ninth gave them the win in the first game of the doubleheader, 14-6. Let's head to game 2, and yeah, it's already 5-0, but trust me, there are plenty of more offensive highlights to come. This Oppo 2-run jack from Cade Kern was part of a 10-run inning for the Buckeyes. Cats starting pitcher Michael Farinelli only lasted 2 innings, but the pitching really didn't matter. Next inning, another Oppo bomb, this time from Brent Otis, puts the Buckeyes up 15-0. Next inning, more runs. Colton Bauer drives the ball down the left field line, clearing the bases and scoring 3 more for the Buckeyes. They score the game's first 23 runs and roll 25-9. Well, Sunday was a new day for the Cats, hoping to wash away yesterday's doubleheader debacle. But they found themselves down 4-1 in the 6th after a single by Archer Brookman. The Buckeyes get a great start from Wyatt Lonkar, who held the Cats to 1 run and 1 hit in 5 innings. But don't worry, the offense came alive. Here Bashirs was hit by a pitch, forcing in a run to tie this one at 4. Next at bat for the Cats, Tommy DeLeese hits a pop-up. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? No one is. That ball finds a home, according to Tony Livermore scores from second. Cats take the lead. Well, the bullpen's been a struggle all year long, and unfortunately, they could not hold the game. Here's a go-ahead single from Cade Kern. Watch out, Cade. Don't get hit there. But one last chance for Northwestern. Tommy DeLeese strikes out to end the game. Brutal sweep for the Cats, putting their Big Ten tournament hopes in jeopardy. Coming off that sweep, the Cats took out its frustrations on the road against Milwaukee on Tuesday, hitting 4 home runs and pouring in 21 runs. Tommy DeLeese and Anthony Calarco paced the Cats' bats, each hitting a homer and combining for 9 RBIs. The Cats were up 11-8 heading into the 8th, but scored 10 runs in the final 2 frames to pick up the midweek win. Northwestern kicks off its final regular season home series tomorrow against Purdue. Both teams have 7 conference wins on the season, so it should be a tight matchup at Miller Park this weekend. Max?
After a 4th-place finish at the Big Ten Golf Championships, the Northwestern men's golf team has earned a spot in the NCAA Regionals in Columbus, Ohio. The team is seeded 8th out of the 13 teams in the region, with the top teams being Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech, Arkansas, and Clemson, who are all ranked in the top 25 nationally. The Cats will be led by Big Ten champion David Nefial, who earned unanimous All-Big Ten honors this past week. David and the rest of the team will need to make birdies, limit big scores, and shoot some low rounds on the tough par 71, 7,400-yard Scarlet course. A good finish could earn them a spot in the national championships at Greyhawk Golf Club in Arizona later this month.
And after tying for 3rd in the Big Ten Championship 3 weeks ago, the Northwestern women's golf team qualified for the NCAA tournament for the 12th time in program history. The Wildcats trekked out to Stanford, California for the Stanford Regional from May 9th to 11th. The 3 days out west did not disappoint in terms of drama. After 3 rounds, the Cats tied with Purdue for 4th place. Only the top 4 teams could advance, and USC, LSU, and Stanford had already locked up their bids to the championship round. NU and the Boilermakers headed to a playoff where Purdue got the best of Northwestern, claiming the 4th and final spot. With that, the Wildcats season came to an end. Janine Lee placed Northwestern with a total score of 213. Lee finished tied for 10th among all competitors at the regional. Big Ten Freshman of the Year Lauren Nguyen tallied a 216, which tied her for 19th place. After a heartbreaking defeat, Emily Fletcher's squad is poised to make another run next season, despite Kelly Sim and Kelly Sue being seniors. Northwestern boasts current underclassmen in Lee, Nguyen, and Jennifer Tsai. The Cats will return to the links with a vengeance in September for invitational play.
Now from the golf course to the tennis court, men's tennis spent the weekend in Lexington, Kentucky for the NCAA tournament, where they faced off against East Tennessee State in the first round on Friday. The Wildcats made easy work of the Buccaneers, defeating them 4-0. Senior Stephen Foreman dominated the courts, winning both his single matches and a double match with first-year Felix Nordby. The Cats then faced number 8 Kentucky in an all-Wildcat battle. Northwestern fell to Kentucky 4-2, ending the Cats' season. Stephen Foreman and sophomore Presley Thinneman grabbed the lone wins for NU in the match. Northwestern finishes their 2022 season with a record of 20-11, with a Big Ten Conference record of 6-3.
The women's tennis team's season came to a close last weekend in Athens, Georgia, as the Cats fell short in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Last Saturday, Northwestern took on Wake Forest and lost 4-2. Christina Han and Sydney Pratt grabbed singles wins for the team, but it wasn't enough to upset the Demon Deacons. The Wildcats end the year with a 14-10 record, going 8-3 in conference play. In some other tennis news, women's head coach Claire Pollard signed a contract extension through 2026, the university announced on Tuesday. Since Pollard took over the program in 1999, she's led the Cats to the NCAA postseason every year the tournament's been conducted.
In just 2 minutes, it's everyone's favorite part of the show. That's right, Plays of the Week are up next.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Really?
Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point. There's smoky.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
The gnats are gone, the sun is out, and you know what that means, Logan.
I don't know. Is it time for me to get some dinner now, Max?
We have to do something first.
Oh.
It's Plays of the Week.
All
Let's
right.
roll them. At number 3, Jay Bashir is at the plate. He takes a swing and hits a beautiful line drive over the left field fence. All the Buckeyes can do is watch as that ball soars over to score 2 in the first.
At 2, Lauren Gilbert with the slick free position goal against Rutgers.
And at number 1, Maeve Nelson up to bat. She hits this bomb over the right field fence, smashing into the scoreboard, putting the Cats up 3-0 against the Gophers. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the studio. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at NNN Sports, on Instagram at NNN_sports, and you can catch all of our previous shows and coverage on YouTube at NNN Sports. For Logan Schiciano, I'm Max Rothfeder. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Sportsnight. Good night.